Many people describe Paracelsus as being the father of modern-day pharmacology. That's him right here. Look at him. Little nerd. Let me know in the comments if you want me to take you through this book sometime. It's pretty cool. But Paracelsus was one of the first big proponents of the idea that a full-spectrum medicine, or But Paracelsus was a proponent of the idea that a plant could be extracted or concentrated in order to make it a more potent medicine. And he was right about that. We also commonly attribute the practice of making spagyrics to him, and that idea was a little bit misguided. Not that he wasn't brilliant for his time and doesn't deserve credit, because he certainly does, but the chemical models they were working with back then were just so incomplete, and they didn't know what we know today. And we only know what we know today because they did the work they did in the past. So I definitely honor the old alchemists who came before and helped lay down the groundwork for modern day chemistry. But back then they were making spagyrics, and spagyrics usually involve using the ash of a plant as part of the medicine. I've heard of many different methods for making spagyrics. Usually it involves separating essential oils or tincturing or fermenting a plant and distilling it, and then at the end burning that plant to ash and recombining everything back together in alcohol in order to create a full spectrum extraction. That was the goal. Full spectrum extraction for more potent medicine. Of course, using the ash of a plant doesn't give you a whole lot because it typically destroys just about everything useful in that plant and leaves behind only trace amounts of anything good and some minerals. So today I'd like to take a look at how we can create modern day spagyrics with the goal of a full plant spectrum extract and maximum efficacy in mind. So we're not going to be using plant ash. And I believe you can still completely apply the spiritual principles of alchemy to a modern day extraction method and not lose any of what you would have gotten from the old ways in the process. If anything, I think you gain more, because that's the goal of continual refinement. So, the volatile and aromatic fraction of a plant, as you know from watching my mugwort video if you've seen that, is going to be found most strongly in fresh picked herbs, not from dried bulk herbs from the store. So if you want to get those lighter fractions, one way you could do it is through steam distillation, through very short, gentle tea steeping below boiling, or through oil infusion. With this, we're going for the volatile, delicate monoterpenes and essential oils, and you can see my preferred method of extraction is through my steam distillation kit here. You could also get them through alcohol extraction using high-proof alcohol. So the deeper fractions of the plant, once you get past the monoterpenes and essential oils and anything that comes off and gives itself up through steam distillation, what's left still in this biomass flask, I always have a hard time saying that, biomass flask right here, still has a lot of good stuff in it. I took the biomass out of the flask here and I decocted half of it to see what would happen. And then the other half I put in this 95% ethanol. Here's what I used to use, or what I used for my last tincture there. And then if you wanted to get the truly heavy part of the plant, one way I've done it is to take the water from the boiler, which is typically refluxed for a while and turned dark. But you could take this nice dark liquid here, like a true decoction, and combine the biomass and boil that for a long time until it's reduced down and create more of a decoction. So here's something I just did recently. If you have a steam distillation kit, you could put the herb in this upper flask here and collect hydrosol and essential oil in the funnel, and then take the biomass that's left in that upper flask and add it to some high-proof ethanol, which, you know, that's what this bottle was, and tincture the spent material that's really not spent, only the lighter stuff that comes through and the vapor path has been spent. And a lot of the heavier stuff has been refluxed or like decocted. It's been recycled into the boiling flask. And you can take this water, the hydrosol and essential oil, and then the biomass tincture and combine all that into one thing. And that would be a more modern spagyric and perhaps not the best way to do it. What might be best would be to add something fresh to the tincture, because clearly you're going to degrade some things from this biomass through boiling, depending on how long you boil it. So I've been very busy and tired this week, and I know this isn't my best video. I'm about to go edit it super tired, so hopefully it comes out clear and I don't completely screw it up. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or want to see something else, please let me know in the comments, because I'm starting to run out of inspiration. Love you guys.